Auntie, I got you a gift. Impeachments.
All right, guys. So as you saw in the intro video there, that is Miss Mina Harris, Kamala Harris's niece, making a little joke, right? Giving her some impeachments, which is basically an allusion to what was happening at the time of that video, which is the Trump impeachment trial, the first one, right? It was about to come up. So, you know, it's kind of hilarious to see that video of her laughing at the possibility of Trump being removed from office, which never happened. However, it looks like fast forward 2 years later, the Biden administration may be considering removing her from office, right? The office of vice president, right? Now, guys, this is a continuation of the rumors floating around Washington, D.C. about the infighting going on between Biden and Kamala, right? And you guys know I've been all in on this, right? I've been all in on the speculation / rumors that Biden and Kamala don't like each other from the beginning, right? I've been pushing this for a long time because to me, it became apparent that something was wrong when you saw how Biden was low-key kind of throwing Kamala under the bus, right? Giving her assignments that he knows that she can't win on and that she obviously does not like, right? Initially, there were reports about Kamala's former staffers or, you know, people associated with her that were basically saying, yeah, Kamala don't really like the assignments that she's getting, right? And then there was rumors about her staff basically not liking the work environment, right? There was speculation that these rumors were actually coming from Biden, okay? It's coming from Biden, right? And then there was rumors that started to come out about Jill Biden, right? Not liking Kamala, telling her to go F herself after one of the Democrat primary debates in which Kamala essentially basically called Biden a racist and brought up his Me Too allegations, right? Again, you know, these are the type of things that were happening early on that I was covering, right? They were just rumors at the time. And while these were just rumors, right, at the time, you could see in public, it wasn't the Biden-Harris administration anymore, right? It was Kamala just kind of being like, you know what? I'm not really going to do a lot of public events with this guy anymore, right? It became obvious that something was wrong, right? Something was wrong. And now all of a sudden, the mainstream liberal media has picked up on this, right? As rumors are swirling around Washington, D.C. about Kamala being removed as vice president. And these are serious rumors, right? These are serious things that people are allegedly talking about. Now, to me, in my opinion, this makes a whole lot of sense, right? Because the Democrats are desperate for 2024, right? They know that Biden is the most unpopular man in the country right now, right? And the only person that's more unpopular than him is a woman, right? And that woman happens to be Kamala Harris. And they also know that Biden's old, right? He's getting up there in age. He probably don't have it in him to run again in 2024, even though he's saying that that's what he's going to do. So naturally, that leaves Kamala as his successor because she's vice president. However, again, Kamala is so unpopular that the Democrats already know that's an automatic L, right? So they got to figure out a way to get rid of her and to get somebody in her spot that's more popular, or put it this way, to put somebody in a position to be the front runner that is more popular than her. Now, the Telegram, which is a UK news outlet, right, even is picking up on these American rumors and is saying that, hey, the Democrats are considering a nuclear option, right, to get rid of Kamala. So let's actually read about this. Democrats, desperately scrambling to find a successor to Joe Biden in 2024, are whispering about a potential nuclear option that could see Kamala Harris, the current vice president, nominated to the Supreme Court. Wow. So that allegedly is the nuclear option. And the reason why this is the nuclear option is because they can't just have a primary, right? Usually when a party has the White House, they're not going to have a primary, right? That guy, whoever's in the White House is automatically going to be the guy, right? However, in this situation, if Biden chooses not to run, then at that point, it will be Kamala. However, again, they don't want a primary, right? The reason why they don't want a primary is because primaries could potentially hurt the incumbent, right? The person that's in office, because they got to start mudslinging, right? That's politics. So in order to avoid having a primary, right, this option would essentially nominate Kamala to the Supreme Court, and then Biden could then nominate his own VP, aka the Democrats can nominate a VP that's more popular than Kamala, and then naturally that person would be next in line. Now, the word on the street is that that person might be Pete Buttigieg, right? And honestly, I have no clue why he's the guy, right? I figured that it probably has something to do with Pete's sexuality, right? Because the Democrats love identity politics. And the woman of color thing didn't really work out too well with Kamala. So they're probably going to try to go with the gay man card, right? In order to try to win over people with identity politics, okay? Again, it's almost as if they haven't learned their lesson about this, that, you know, merit is probably more important than identity. But hey, we will see. Because other than that, I don't know why he's the guy. All I know is that the mainstream liberal media is running with this now, and they're now putting it out here that Pete's the guy, right? That's what they're doing. So yeah, let's read a little bit more here. While the scenario is highly improbable and perhaps a reflection of a Washington rumor mill on overdrive, the fact that it's come up at all shows the depths of the predicament the Biden administration currently finds itself in amidst rising inflation, a stalled domestic agenda, and foreign policy disasters. Polls are now regularly showing Mr. Biden's approval rating below 40%, and panic set in at the White House after a recent poll put Kamala Harris at an unelectable 28%. Yeah, she's done, right? Again, running Kamala is an automatic L no matter what. Behind the scenes discussions of how the Democrats could arrive at a third option for the next president are underway. Operatives are preparing for the possibility of a contested presidential primary in which other would-be nominees take on Harris, but that could be damaging for the party. The left field Supreme Court theory would mean Mr. Biden nominating Ms. Harris, a former high-flying prosecutor, if a seat on the court became available over the next 3 years, which it may well. Mr. Biden could then use Section 2 of the 25th Amendment to nominate a more popular vice president. That person would be the presumptive Democratic nominee should Mr. Biden not run for re-election at the age of 82. If Mr. Biden stepped down before November 2024, the new vice president under Section 1 of the 25th Amendment would assume presidency and be able to run as an incumbent. It is, of course, all wildly hypothetical, but constitutionally feasible. All right. So, yeah, like I told you guys, Pete Buttigieg allegedly is supposed to be the guy that takes the reins. Now, again, all this is a rumor, right? Or, you know, for right now. But what also started off as a rumor that people vehemently denied was actually true was that there was turmoil among Kamala's staffers, right? That apparently she's a bad boss, okay? And they said, again, this was just a rumor. But now, fast forward into the future, we have Kamala's staffers resigning left and right. As just a few weeks ago, her communications director left, right? She's had some people that have been in charge of like immigration and scheduling stuff for her. They left. Now, one of her top advisors, probably the top advisor that she has, Simone B. Sanders, has resigned, okay? So Kamala's whole team is falling apart, right? This is terrible for her. So let's a little bit more about the disaster that is apparently happening among Kamala's staffers and team. Simone Sanders, a senior advisor to Vice President Harris, and her chief spokesperson will depart at the end of the year in a sign of growing turmoil within the office. Sanders is the second top Harris aide to announce her departure in less than a month. Just 2 weeks ago, it emerged that Harris communication director Ashley Etienne had resigned. Harris had been plagued by poor approval ratings and questions from Republican critics about her competence. Simone has served honorably for 3 years, a White House official told Fox News, first as a valuable member of the president's 2020 presidential campaign, then as a member of his transition team, and now a deputy assistant to the president and senior advisor / chief spokesperson to the vice president. The White House official also told Fox News that President Biden and Harris are grateful for Simone's service and advocacy and said she will be missed. The 31-year-old Sanders will be working through the end of the year. Sanders, who moved to Washington, D.C. in 2014, was hired by progressive Senator Bernie Sanders as the national press secretary for his 2016 presidential campaign. Formerly, Sanders served as the chair of the Coalition for Juvenile Justice Emerging Leaders Committee and as a member of the Federal Advisory Committee on Juvenile Justice, as she advocated for social and racial justice and highlighted economic inequality. All right, so this is a big deal. This is a huge deal because, again, like I told you guys, this was all rumors from the beginning, right? Rumors that people like Simone B. Sanders had, low-key denied, right? She tried to play off and tried to say, oh, no problems, okay? And now she's resigning, right? Now she's resigning. Again, this started off as just rumors. Communications director, top senior advisor, right? I think that Simone B. Sanders is probably the top person in Kamala's staff. So, in my opinion, this at the very least confirms that Kamala's staff and her administration is a disaster, right? And it probably means that the rumors about the Democrats looking for another option outside of Kamala to take the reins or looking to remove her could probably also be true as well, right? There could actually be talks in Washington about doing that. And the more I think about it, the more I'm like, nominating Kamala to the Supreme Court if there's a vacancy would kind of be the perfect out, because at that point they can kind of say, well, Kamala being a prosecutor, right? She's the most qualified person for the job, right? And we feel that she would be better served on the Supreme Court, as a so-called woman of color, right? Than being vice president at this point, right? And then at that point, they could just say, hey, you know what? Pete's the new vice president, okay? And he can take the reins. He probably, to a certain extent is more popular than Biden. Probably not by that much. And only because, again, not that many people know of him like they do Biden. He's not in office. He's probably more popular than Biden. And it gives the Democrats an ability to kind of hit the reset button without having to go through a primary. Because if Biden can't make it in 2024 or he chooses not to run and Kamala is their option, which she would have to be at that point, right? Unless they do a primary, which they don't want to do, they're toast, right? They're toast. And they know they're toast. So I believe it, man. Like, I actually do believe it. And I wouldn't be surprised to see something like this happen, right? I wouldn't be surprised at all. I know it's wildly speculative. We don't know. But at the same time, all the stuff they were saying about what was going on in Kamala's staff was wildly speculative at the time, and it's turned out to be true. And these rumors about, Biden not liking Kamala, wanting to get rid of Kamala, have been around for a while now, right? Now the mainstream media is going with the same things that people like me have been talking about for a while now. Kind of crazy how that works. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.